I've lost my world, I've lost my religion. The words of a former Iranian Basij militia member who says he witnessed killings and tried to stop rapes during the uprising that followed the disputed presidential election in June. After months of stories by witnesses and victims, we're now getting a picture of what went on from a man who claims he was part of the group ordered to carry out the attacks. He's now seeking refuge in the United Kingdom and has spoken exclusively to Channel 4 News about the orders the Basij were given to ensure President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad won the election. Our international editor, Lindsey Hilsum, reports. Her report contains flash photography.
He dare not show his face nor reveal his name. Now living anonymously in Britain, he says he was a member of the Basij, Iran's notorious religious paramilitaries. He is the first Basiji to tell the inside story of the role they've played in attacking Iran's opposition protesters and, according to him, in rigging last June's elections.
From 3 or 4 months before the election, we had attended classes on ideological and political thought and crowd control. We knew what we had to do, but nothing prepared us for what we saw.
Iran's Basij are the defenders of the revolution, men and women taught from an early age that the supreme leader is infallible and following orders is a religious duty. Sayed's disturbing story bears out many accounts by victims and reports by human rights groups. June the 12th, polling day. The Basij commanders in his town, he says, had told the rank and file months before that the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, wanted President Ahmadinejad re-elected. It was the job of the Basij to make it happen.
For those of us who were responsible for the ballot boxes, the order was this: that Khamenei's wish is for Ahmadinejad to win. We were told you must complete the ballots accordingly for the illiterate and for others who can't do it themselves, no matter who their vote was intended for. The same with the blank votes.
They knew that young people and students had been campaigning for the opposition. So, he said, the order came simply not to count those votes. The next day the protest started, and the Basij had a new job.
On that day in this area we were given batons and cables that coil and extend easily. If one attaches to someone's hand and you pull it, you can do serious harm. Sprays like pepper sprays. Some were given handcuffs. The order came to attack everyone without restraint or mercy, regardless of their age. Anyone who was in disagreement. It was made clear there should be no distinction between child or adult, man or woman. Real attack without warning, and the right to shoot. They had prepared a hospital for the wounded and the dead, a Basij hospital. It was very hard. If there was an issue with killing, it was explained that the killing was for a cause, and that it was a good deed. I saw one person killed on the street, but in the hospital there were many, many more dead.
In the months since the election, there have been many reports from Iran of protesters being raped in jail. Sayed says on June the 20th, about 100 young people, some only 12, were arrested in his city and put in shipping containers. He told us where, but to protect his identity we can't say or show the location. These pictures are from Tehran. He said Basij from outside the town were brought in, and he heard the desperate cries as they raped men and women, boys and girls.
I heard the sound of screams and pleading and crying. We didn't understand what was going on. They were pleading, "We're sorry, please, we regret our actions," or screams or crying. We were confused. I couldn't believe that we would do such a thing, to rape. It's as if it's replaying in front of me. The faces, the screams are with me every moment. It's not something you can forget, separate yourself from. They were pleading, they were crying, they wanted help.
He says he and other locals fought those Basij who'd been brought in, but they got no comfort when they complained to their commander, who he calls Haji.
We said, "What is this? Sexual abuse is a serious crime. Who gave this order? Who authorized this?" Haji calmly replied with a smile, "This is an aid to victory. It's a worthy deed. There's nothing wrong with it. Why are you complaining?"
Sayed had believed the Basij were the epitome of Islamic virtue. Now he's fled Iran. He doesn't know what to think.
Now I am ashamed in front of people, even to say I was mistaken. And I'm ashamed in front of my religion. I committed crimes knowingly and unknowingly. Now I'm left with my conscience punishing me for what I did.
In recent days there have been more demonstrations, mainly in universities. The Basij continue to beat and arrest protesters. We got no response from the Iranian embassy when we requested a comment on Sayed's allegations. Iran is in turmoil still, and so is this one man, who fled rather than follow orders, and who now wrestles with his conscience and his faith.